सदाशिव समारंभाम
सदाशिव समारंभाम
शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम
शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम
मदाचार्य पर्यंताम
मदाचार्य पर्यंताम
वंदे गुरु परंपराम
वंदे गुरु परंपराम
वसुदेव सुतं देवम
वसुदेव सुतं देवम
चाणूरमर्दनम
कंसचारूणमर्दनम
देवकी परमानंदम
देवकी परमानंदम
कृष्णं वंदे जगद्गुरुम
कृष्णं वंदे जगद्गुरुम
श्रेयो हि ज्ञानम अभ्यासात्
श्रेयो हि ज्ञानम् अभ्यासात्
ज्ञानात् ध्यानं विशिष्यते
ध्यानात् विशिष्यते
ध्यानात् कर्म फल त्यागः
ध्यानात् कर्मफलस्त्यागः
त्यागात् शांति अनंतरम
त्यागात् शान्ति अनन्तरम्।
हरि ओम। So we'll continue on our second chapter, which is a Sankhya Yoga. So Sankhya Yoga, the second chapter, and as we are the last part of the second chapter, the first part of second chapter, which is few shlok up to 7. It is seventh shlok. Arjun has surrendered. He did samarpan. That's a samarpan yoga. Then from 11 to 30, almost Bhagwan talked about Sankhya, which is equivalent to Gyan yoga. So Bhagwan gave him the Gyan, the basic fundament. And then from 38 to around 48, 49, Bhagwan talked about Karma, where we saw Karmanyeva Adhikaraste and other well-known and well-versed or well-referred shlok. And then the last part is Sthit Pragya. People call it Sthit Pragya Darshan, or some call it Sthit Pragya philosophy, but it is Sthit Pragya Lakshan and how to become Sthit Pragya. So we are in the fourth part. And Arjun's question was that to Bhagwan, after listening to Gyan and Karma both, fundamental of Gyan and Karma, he said, Bhagwan, if there is a person, there is a role model which has both. Of course, Karma we continue to do, but how a Jnani does the Karma, that is his question. So what that person could be. So Arjun used that term, Sthit Pragyasya ka bhasha. What is the definition of that Sthit Pragya? Bhagwan did tell him about Sthit Pragya. His question was that, what is Sthit Pragya? And answering Arjun's question, what is the definition of Sthit Pragya? How it behaves, how this person navigates. And that's where the last part of the second chapter started, from shlok number 54. So we covered up to 63, 64, and we'll just recap. So last week we saw Sthit Pragya means, in simple terms, this person has three qualities. One is Purnatvam, which is this person is always fulfilled, complete. Nothing is missing. And so when you don't miss anything, you don't need anything. So you are full, you're Purna, you're complete, fulfilled. So that is Atmani Atmanatushtan, the first definition of Sthit Pragya. This person has Purnatvam. The second was Samatvam. The second, like 55 shlok, it says, Dukheshu Anudignamana Sukheshu Vigatastara. Dukh also doesn't disturb this person, and Sukh also don't disturb. अभी now किसी को बोलेंगे सुख disturb यार, सुख से तो मजा आता है, आप बोलोगे disturb सुख में, but that मजा is also a disturbance, क्योंकि दुख आने वाला है बाद में. इसलिए अगर आप सुख में डिस्टर्ब हो रहे हैं तो दुख में डिस्टर्ब होंगे ही सही. डिस्टर्बेंस इज एट द माइंड लेवल. सो इसके लिए भगवान ने वार्न किया है कि ये मत सोचना कि दुख में डिस्टर्ब नहीं होंगे, सुख में डिस्टर्ब नहीं होंगे तो दुख में नहीं होंगे, तो हो गई सही. डिस्टर्बेंस इज द नेचर ऑफ माइंड. सो दैट्स व्हाई द सेकंड क्वालिटी समत्वम. बोथ कंडीशन में दिस पर्सन इज नॉट डिस्टर्ब. इज प्रज्ञा स्थिर. स्थिर मीन्स established in the same state of mind, buddhi or pragya we can say, or gyan. And basically gyan is always available, assimilated gyan. For example, our shastra says that when you eat, it is not what you eat, it is what you digest that gives you energy. That's why we say junk food mat khao, junk food mat khao, kuch milne wala nahi. Pet aapka bhar jata hai, but no nutrition, right? And that's why the whole medical system is struggling these days in America, especially because of the food. So it is not what you eat, it is what you assimilate. It is what you digest. So same thing Bhagavan is saying, that this person's knowledge is assimilated knowledge. That is called sthit, established in the consciousness, available all the time. So that is samatvam. And third quality which this person has, vitaraga bhaya krodha. Vit means transcend. This person has transcend rag, bhaya and krodha. Rag means again attachment, too much passion about something. Bhaya is of course fear, and the krodha. These three things this person has transcend. So three qualities: purnatvam, samatvam, and virag. And that who has these qualities is a sthit prajna. But at the same time, Bhagavan is a good teacher. So last time we saw he warned Arjun. ये तो बहुत आसान है सब सोच लेना कि ये कैसे होगा, लेकिन the mind has a tendency to, through senses, mind works through senses with our sense of perceptions. हमारी जो 5 इंद्रियां हैं जिसको हम लोग we use in meditation also, tongue and then ear, nose, skin. Through this we interact with the outside world, and these are the senses. They navigate in the world with the related objects, and they take away the mind. So Arjun, it is not easy. I mean, so definition ठीक है, तो भगवान भी जो warn भी करते हैं. So last time he said that these senses are very stubborn, and they follow constantly the sense objects, which is called Vishay. Vishay, we have to remember, it's a very powerful Sanskrit word used in our Shastra a lot. Vishay means the sense objects, and Bhagavan Shankaracharya in one of Vivek Chudamani or one of the writing, I think maybe Atmabodh, somewhere he says Vishay is like wish. The same root word is same. Wish means poison. तो पॉइजन तो सिर्फ आदमी के शरीर को खराब करता है, बट विषय मन को भी खराब कर देते हैं. सो पॉइजन आप खा लोगे तो शरीर खराब होगा, देन यू कैन गेट रिड ऑफ पॉइजन एंड बी अगेन बैक. बट विषय जो है वो तो मन को खराब कर देते हैं. सो सेम रूट है. सो विषय इज लाइक विश. वी हैव टू बी वेरी वेरी केयरफुल. इट्स अ पॉइजन. So that's what Bhagavan says. So last time we saw, and he says Dhyayato Vishyan Punsa, like 62nd shlok, very powerful. Punsangasteshu pujayate, sangha sanjayate, kama, kamat krodho vijayate. Constantly dwelling upon those objects, you get attached to them. Once the attachment comes, the desire to acquire the object comes. And no desire is completely fulfilled. There will be always unfulfilled desires. And unfulfilled desire becomes anger, agitation, or disturbance. Then anger, once you are disturbed, you are angry, you are in delusion, mohat, you are completely lost. And we all know that. I mean, it is such a simple example कि किसी को भी बताने की, मैंने बताया ना कि हमारी क्लास में छोटे बच्चों को, उनको भी समझ में आया था ये एग्जाम्पल कि when you are angry, you are lost. You are not with yourself. Everybody understands it. Very simple. So that is kamo. When you are not with yourself, it is hypnotism. Then hypnotism causes the loss of memory. When you're hypnotized, you forget what you have. So, जैसे हम लोग, I mean, I know a lot of old age people when they get, especially, I mean, my father had the same issue. उनको Alzheimer था, तो they used to give him antidepressant. And वो dose थोड़ा भी कभी किसी दिन ज़्यादा हो जाता तो रात को he used to get hallucination. And I was surprised first time when I see my own father. He was a professor and very high scholar and intellectual person. And when he used to get hallucination night, he'll say something which is very weird. ये कौन घर में आ रहा है और ये क्या हो रहा है? It's like that. So that's the memory is lost. He doesn't know who you are, he or she, whatever. And then loss of memory causes the destruction. When there is no memory, there is no buddhi. Buddhi needs memory to act. So memory is gone, the buddhi is gone. And when buddhi is gone, the purpose is gone. When there is no buddhi, there is no memory, you're angry. So you forget the purpose. So that's what Bhagavan said, buddhi nashat pranashyati. So that was the ladder of decline we saw last time. So Bhagavan has warned Arjun that Arjun, be careful. Just a small thing, thinking of that object. And there are psychologists or there are people who have done, and even our rishis, they have done this experiment. You constantly think of something. I mean, it is not just a shlok, and we all have experienced that. They have done purposefully. Sit on one, think of one object, and slowly you get attached to that, and they hold this ladder they follow. So the ladder is proven, tested logic, rational he is given here. So the next shlok when we go to, Bhagavan says there is a solution also. So we'll read the 64th shlok. Bhagavan is a good teacher. And the goal here is not to confuse Arjun, to remove Arjun's confusion. And that's the reason we read Bhagavad Gita, that it has removed and it will remove, and it removes always, all the time, like thousands of years. That's why people are reading. So we'll go to 64th shlok and then we continue today's topic. So today's topic will be where Bhagavan says that see, ultimately he is taking us to Shanti. And that's the purpose of the whole study, the Mana Shanti. And this whole topic is Mano Nigra and Indriya Nigra, sense control and mind control. And once you don't have Shanti, I was reading a survey, what is the biggest happiness? And a lot of people say it's like
relationships.
Composed, yeah. And the relationship, where you're composed, basically. Relationship, they say, ultimately relationship always healthy when two parties are composed. Both are shant, both are not agitated. One agitates, relationship breaks. So both are unagitated, unudvigna, then relationship is happy. So ultimately, the biggest sukh is shanti. If there is no shanti, there is no sukh. It's all null and void. And that's where this shlok will come. So anyway, let's read 64, recap, and then we go to next one. The 64 shlok, second chapter, Sthit Pragya Darshan or Sthit Pragya Lakshan. Rag dvesha viyuktestu
Ragadvesha vyuktestu
vishayani indriyesh
Vishyan Indriyaischaran
Atma vasher vidheyatma
Atmavashyai Vidheyatma
prasadam adigachati.
प्रसादमगच्छति परंतु स्वाधीन अंतःकरण वाला पुरुष राग द्वेष से रहित अपने वश में की हुई इंद्रियों द्वारा विषयों को भोगता हुआ अंतःकरण की प्रसन्नता अर्थात स्वच्छता को प्राप्त होता है.
You can read English.
I will read.
Yeah.
But the self-controlled man, free from likes and dislikes, moving among objects with his senses under control, attains peace.
Yes. So two things here Bhagavan is very specifically. One is that you cannot run away from sense objects. We are a human being, we are born, we have senses, we have our like body centric nature, which is tamogun or rajogun. Most of us have more of that. We have some sattvagun also. Some people have more sattvagun. So there is no escape from the senses. So Bhagavan, in this shlok also Bhagavan has already said that you cannot escape from the senses. You cannot. So because we are human beings, senses are part of our body, our psyche. So first thing is you cannot run away from sense objects. Indriya. Second is the objects. Senses work through objects. For example, like the simple example we give, I like a car, typically for young people, right? Or I like to eat some dish. Sometimes we go to some park or some place and we wanted to eat pizza and it is not available. We go to 10 shops and no, I have to eat pizza. यार आज तो पिज्जा ही खाने का मन कर रहा है. And we find out, right? कुछ ना कुछ करके नहीं मिलता तो बहुत दुखी हो जाते हैं. That power of one taste, छोटी सी जुबान है, वो हिला के रख देती है. झगड़े हो जाते लोग खाने को लेके. So that powerful. So Bhagavan is saying कि, but is it pizza disturbing you? No, pizza has nothing to do. Pizza तो पड़ा हुआ, उसको कुछ भी फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है. आप खा रहे हो या नहीं खा रहे हो. So object is insentient. Object is jad. Object is inert. Object has nothing to do with your feelings, right? It is you feel it. And the reason is because you have a desire to have that object. Or you have a desire to reject that object. Both cases, raga dvesh. इधर राग है तो आपको वो चाहिए और द्वेष है तो आपको वो नहीं चाहिए. अभी कोई आदमी आता है हमारे घर में बैठा, यार इसको जाना चाहिए, बहुत देर हो गई, बोर कर रहा है, आधा घंटा हो गया. Now your mind is thinking this person should go. So now you want to reject this person is also in this sense an object worldly. So these two things we have to keep in mind when reading next 3-4 slok. That senses will always be there and we have to navigate, use the senses. And the objects will always be there. They are inanimate objects. उनको क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है, कार खड़ी है डीलर के यहाँ, वो बोलेंगे मैं आपके घर आ जाऊं. मेरी इच्छा है कि वो कार मेरे घर आ जाए, वो नहीं आती तो मुझे मजा नहीं आता. कार को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है. So these two things, and that's what Bhagavan says. We have to read this shlok in little break into 3 parts. So first we have to read Indriyehi Charan Vishyan, which says Vishyani Indriyehi Charan. So Indriya means sense objects, Charan means navigate, the move, Vishyan within Vishay, among the Vishay, among the sense object. So like हमारे को कुछ चीज चाहिए, या I want something, or my job or my title, everything is an objects. And my senses are going, like मन उनके through जाता है, through senses, through eyes. I see something I want to acquire. So that is called Indriya, senses. Charan is moving among Vishyan, among objects. That is a standard. I mean, that you cannot change. Then Bhagavan says, but how do you control? Because if you don't control, then they'll take away the mind. You get agitated. So Bhagavan said there are 2 ways. One is Bhagavan, second line is Atma Vasheyi. Atma means self. Vash means control. Vash shabd aaya, Vasheyi is restrain. So self-restraint. That is Indriya Nigraha. Self-control. Just self-control second aega. Self-Atma Vasheyi means self-restraint. Holding the senses. It's like the example given is the horses, right? If you have the rein or the strings hold tight, you can control the horses. Same thing. मेरा खाने का मन करता है, लेकिन like these days we do those 16-hour fasting or 14-hour fasting, whatever those kind of things. और हमारे fasting नवरात्रि आ रही है. So we do that, and that's the purpose of that training, because that's not easy. से बचपन से खा के बड़े हुए हैं, कभी खाने का ही मन करेगा. अभी क्या है, सुबह से नाश्ता, दिन में ये खाना, दिन में ये फाफड़ा खाना और नमकीन खाना, और इतनी आदत डाल ली है खाने की. एक आचार्य बोला करते थे कि मतलब मनुष्य इतना कमजोर है कि खाना हमारी जरूरत से ज्यादा आदत बन गया है. And he's very right कि भोजन हमारी, it's our habit rather than need, because of the senses are so powerful. नींद में भी आपको कभी कभी स्वाद आने लगता है. So Bhagavan says Atma Vasheyi means restraint, and Vidheya Atma means self control, mind. So sense control and Vidheya का मतलब होता है compliance. You comply by the rules. So Shastra says कि आपको ध्यान करना चाहिए, 15 मिनट आंख बंद करके बैठना चाहिए. So do it, practice it, and we'll come to that. Bhagavan, entire Gita is about that. So that is called self-control. So sense control and mind control. And what, I mean, there are ways, आगे भगवद गीता में, but simple is that you have to put mind into some object which is beyond these worldly things, which is Bhagwan in simple sense, और कोई अच्छा विचार. So आत्मवशेर विधेय आत्मा, self-restraint, self-control. Now you, if you navigate in your senses among object, rag dvesh viyukte astu. Viyukt means not engaged. So rag dvesh are dropped. Now देखिए कितना मजा है. अगर राग द्वेष नहीं है और आपको self control है, then you can live in the world like भगवान कृष्ण is a classic example. वो रास भी कर सकते हैं, वो गायों को भी ला सकते हैं, वो युद्ध भी कर सकते हैं, unattached. And that is the goal that we continue to. What will the result? प्रसादम अधिगच्छति. प्रसाद शब्द का मतलब यहाँ पर पीस है, ट्रैंक्विलिटी. There are various, but प्रसाद शब्द जो हमारा मंदिर में प्रसाद आया इसी से आया, सेम वर्ड. प्रसाद का मतलब मंदिर में जब हम जाते हैं ना कि भगवान का प्रसाद लो, तो भगवान का प्रसाद मीन्स व्हाट? भगवान इज अ शांति स्वरूप, भगवान इज अ सत्य स्वरूप. तो भगवान से जो मिलेगा या तो शांति मिलेगी, या आनंद मिलेगा, या सत्य मिलेगा. पर ये तो सिंबॉलिक है कि कोई हम लोग हलवा लेते हैं या कैश्यू लेते हैं या मिश्री लेते हैं. बट द रियल मीनिंग इज कि भगवान से जो मिलेगा वो शांति, सत्य या आनंद ही होगा. तो दिस इज प्रसादम. प्रसन्नता भी यूज किया वर्ड इन्होंने, अंतःकरण की. अंतःकरण विल टॉक सम टाइम. इट्स अ वेरी प्रोफाउंड वर्ड, बट राइट नाउ वी कैन अज्यूम जस्ट माइंड. So prasadam adhigacchati. This person reaches the prasannata, the shanti, anand. How? By having self-restraint, self-control, and then you navigate in the world, no problem, absolutely no problem. Relationship will be there, everything will be there. जैसे अभी किसी हमने बात कर रहे थे कि what is the biggest happiness? Healthy relationship. Healthy relationship, you need two parties to be happy. One party, you cannot have a relationship where one party is unhappy and another is happy. That's where the whole struggle in the world is. If both are happy, it's like, and that's what everybody wants. There was a survey, like 58% people said the highest thing that they desire in life is relationship. So that's what Bhagwan is saying. अगर ये है, दोनों अगर राग द्वेष नहीं है, दोनों self restraint control है, प्रसादम अधिगच्छति. प्रसन्नता और शांति ही होगी. अधिगच्छति में you reach to that, and that's what this is a very 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 nice श्लोक. I mean this श्लोक मैं तो कई बार पढ़ता हूँ, and you keep reading, I mean everything is given in this श्लोक. जीने की कला दे दी है, जैसे कहते हैं ना, art of living in this श्लोक. This is what art of living is. So we'll go to 65 now. But what will happen if you get that shanti? So Bhagwan tells very very nicely. Bhagwan has explained everything. 65. प्रसादे सर्व दुःखानां,
प्रसादे सर्व दुःखानां,
हानिरस्य उपजायते,
हानिरस्योपजायते,
प्रसन्न चेतसो याशु,
प्रसन्न चेतसो ह्याशु,
बुद्धि पर्यवतिष्ठते.
बुद्धि पर्यवतिष्ठते. और उस निर्मलता के होने पर इसके संपूर्ण दुखों का अभाव हो जाता है, और उस प्रसन्न चित्त वाले पुरुष की बुद्धि शीघ्र ही अच्छी प्रकार स्थिर हो जाती है.
In peace, all his sorrows are destroyed. The intellect of the tranquil minded soon becomes steady.
Yeah, so now he is continuing. See, प्रसाद मिल गया. प्रसाद दोनों चीजें हैं. अब मान के ये समझ लीजिए मंदिर में प्रसाद मिला, वही है जीवन का प्रसाद, वही आनंद भगवान ने दिया है. मंदिर में सिंबॉलिक है. एंड चिन्मयानंद जी बहुत अच्छा एक्सप्लेन करते थे. ही यूज्ड टू से कि why they have used prasad here, then when you are sitting in the mandir and suppose there is a 45 minutes puja going on, and if you are focused in that 45 minutes with shraddha or bhakti, then by the end of that 45 minutes the anand you get is a prasad. वो जो बाहर मिलता है वो तो खाली एक समझाने के लिए. And that's what Bhagwan is saying. What the prasad is talking, that anand, not the tangible prasad. Tangible prasad is the symbolic. So Bhagwan says, prasade sarva what happens when you get prasad, that happiness. अब happiness आ गई तो उसके बाद होगा क्या? So पिछले श्लोक में भगवान ने बोला है कि अंतःकरण की प्रसन्नता. Now that word last time I said we will talk. So antahkaran means our shastra. I mean, you can read Western psychology, philosophy. They have never reached to that. हमारे शास्त्रों में अंतःकरण. They always talk about mind. That's it. हमारे शास्त्रों में अंतःकरण को they are divided into 4. मन, बुद्धि, चित्त और अहंकार. मन means mind. Buddhi is intellect. Chitta is the memory where the consciousness, everything is stored. And ahankar, that ego, which connects, which is a problem, which tells me that I am this body, not this. Atma is a body, not. So that ahankar, that is ahankar, which we call it ego. So that 4 things become antahkaran. And these 4, when they reach to the potential they are supposed to be. Swami Vivekananda used to say, it's a very famous statement in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, that we are all potentially divine. So the goal of yoga is not to achieve something. Goal of yoga is to uncover something. We are potentially divine. We are divine. The only thing, there is a covering here, which is called Dhyān. The only thing is, it's like that. There is a story goes, a young woman, she got married to a family, and this family used to live in a village where there's no light. Of course, this lady also came from some other place, but she was little educated and thinker. When she came, so उन्होंने बोला कि we have a tradition that when the new bride comes, her job is to take one bucket, and there is a dark in the house because there's no light, right? So take the darkness in the bucket and at least 10 times and go and throw outside. So she said, why you do? Well, we have been doing this for ages, and someday the darkness will go away, because every new bride has to take 10-15 buckets of darkness and throw outside. And she says, no, hold on. This is not correct. No, this is our tradition. The darkness, someday darkness will go away if we keep doing this. She said, hold on, give me 2 pieces of stone. She got something, and she brought a little wick and a little oil, and then rubbed the stone, and the fire was lighted, and through diya jal gaya. The light ho gayi. So say, "Arey wah, you're intelligent." She said ki there is no way you can throw the darkness out, because darkness doesn't exist. It is the absence of light. So same thing, agyan jo hum log sochte hain, agyan doesn't exist. It is the absence of gyan, or incompleteness of gyan. That is agyan. So that's what the whole, what Bhagwan is saying here, कि कुछ नया नहीं करना है, सिर्फ उतना ही करना है कि वो हटाना है अज्ञान. And that's what when Bhagwan says कि ये जो प्रसन्न चेत है, ये जो अंतःकरण प्रसन्न है, ये प्रसन्न ही था और प्रसन्न ही है और प्रसन्न ही रहेगा. ओनली थिंग उसके ऊपर लेयर डाल दी अज्ञान की, और हम लोग और वासनाओं की. वी कॉल इट डिजायर्स और वेरियस नेम, राइट. इसके लिए ऐसा लगता है कि हम दुखी हैं. हम सुखी ही हैं. The problem is that we keep thinking that I'll find that from somewhere else, the happiness, whereas it's the only thing you have to just discover it. The whole purpose is, so prasanna cheta, भगवान ये कह रहे हैं कि ये जो प्रसाद मिल गया means that covering is gone and you are happy. कुछ नया कुछ नहीं हुआ है. So Bhagavan says, prasade sarva dukkhana. When this covering is removed, then agyan is gone. Hani means the destruction, we can say, or removal. This person's sarva dukkhana. सारे दुख खत्म हो जाते हैं. Anyway, ये सब बोलने के लिए बोला है. दुख ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि भगवान लेके 100 kg दुख will go away. And we know that we are human being born because of there's a karma behind, and there's a whole system working. So दुख तो आएंगे ही, लेकिन वही वाली बात है कि किसी ने स्वामी जी पूछा आपको दुख नहीं आते हैं क्या? उन्होंने कहा दुख तो मुझे भी आते हैं. तो उन्होंने कहा फिर क्या फर्क है मेरे में और आप में? फर्क इतना है कि मैं दुखी नहीं होता. दुख तो तुमको भी आते हैं, तुम दुखी होते हैं. बस ये जो व्यक्ति है, this person प्रसन्न चेतसः, The antakaran is already clean, but he has realized that I am that antakaran pure. So dukh will come, the miseries will come, suffering will come, but you don't suffer. And suffering is not on the body. We suffer in the mind. We don't suffer in the body. When anesthesia is given, they can amputate my one limb. It doesn't hurt me that time. because of that pain, mind is not feeling that, right? Because the anesthesia does that job. But when anesthesia goes away, you start feeling. So there are stories that people have taken surgery without anesthesia, some Swamijis, because they have that much control. So Bhagavan says, Sarva dukkhanam hani upajayate. All the dukkha destroyed or removed. किसके प्रसन्न चेतः से इसके और उसके बाद क्या होता है when the दुख means the feeling of दुख तो financial loss तो होना ही है लेकिन the feeling of that is not there. That person's buddhi ashu means quickly. This is just a switch. Parivatishthate. बड़ा प्यारा शब्द है. Pari means there are two words. Pari avatishthate. Avatishthate means Tishta means बैठना. Avatishta means properly established. And par means completely. Paridhi जैसे शब्द भी है, surrounded by. So इसकी बुद्धि is parvatishthate. Completely इसकी बुद्धि में जो है, बुद्धि शांत में, it's like it's a capsule. That person, and that is स्थित प्रज्ञ. जो अर्जुन का प्रश्न था कि who's this स्थित प्रज्ञ? This is स्थित प्रज्ञ भगवान से. So yeah, we can read one एक श्लोक अभी इसके बाद में पढ़ेंगे. So Bhagavan says कि the goal here is like starting from there, right? विषयों का चिंतन stop करो, then when you get that shanti prasadesar vidheyatma, self-control, self-restraint, still continue to function in the world, you do all your job, and that's what Bhagavan is going to tell Arjun. सब समझाने के बाद भागने वाला नहीं है अभी. He's saying stand up, let us finish the war. There's a reason he's explaining all this, that you will continue to do the war, continue to do your things, but you're not disturbed. Prasanna Chetasa, always happy. And because your buddhi is completely in that, surrounded by that happiness. Or Prasanna Chitta, we can say that. Happiness means Prasanna Chitta. And there is Sarv Dukkhanam Hani means there is no dukh koi jaane wale nahi hai, lekin main dukhi nahi hota. That is what Bhagavan is saying. So we'll read now 66, which is the final part of this, the whole, actually this particular topic when Bhagavan is saying कि प्रसाद क्या है और सुख क्या है और शांति क्या है. So this is a very powerful shlok 66. Another powerful. 66 shlok. नास्ति बुद्धिर अयुक्तस्य
नास्ति बुद्धिर युक्तस्य
न च युक्तस्य भावना
न च युक्तस्य भावना
न च अभावयतः शान्तिः
न च अभावयतः शान्तिः
अशान्तस्य कुतः सुखम्.
अशांतस्य कुतः सुखम्. और हे अर्जुन, साधन रहित पुरुष के अंतःकरण में श्रेष्ठ बुद्धि नहीं होती है, और उस अयुक्त के अंतःकरण में आस्तिक भाव भी नहीं होता है, और बिना आस्तिक भाव वाले पुरुष को शांति भी नहीं होती है. फिर शांति रहित पुरुष को सुख कैसे हो सकता है?
There is neither knowledge nor meditation for the unsteady, and to the unmeditative there is no peace. To the peaceless, how can there be happiness?
Yeah. So now it's continuing from, we remember that when Bhagavan was explaining in this chapter, the second chapter, he tossed the word buddhi yoga, which is karma yoga. And the word he's used that buddhi is samatvam. It's like balanced always. And then only the karma will be balanced. So again, he's using the buddhi term here because buddhi is where the karma originates. So that's why Bhagavan focuses on buddhi a lot in Bhagavad Gita, because buddhi where the karma takes place. So what he's going to, here Bhagavan is signifying, highlighting the significance of three things. We know that, right? And we'll see in the shlok. That is our paddhati: Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyāsanam. So for all three, we need the sense control and mind control. For example, Shravanam. If I have to listen to something, my ear should be right? That whatever level of volume I am able to hear, I should be able to hear. If I am hard of hearing, I see that sometimes it happens when somebody is hard of hearing and the sound system is not working, is I cannot hear you. So that Shravanam, that sense of which Shravan should be in the good shape, right? And at the same time, it is not running around. See, and that's what our problem is. Like when I'm listening to someone, I'm listening to 10 more things. Somebody else is talking somewhere else, then my ear go there and I hear that sound also. So that is not the restraint. I am not restrained. That is not Indriya Nigraha. So for Shravanam, we need both Indriya Nigraha, the senses should be the focus at that point, and Mano Nigraha, and the mind should also be there. See, it happens many times that I hear, but I don't hear because I am not here. That's what there is a saying there. I hear, but I don't hear because I am not here. Hearing is H-E-A-R. So I hear, but I don't hear H-E-A-R because I am not here. H-E-R-E. I is the mind. I'm still listening, but my mind is somewhere, so I'm not listening. So that's what. So the man and Indriya and man both should be. Same thing for Mananam. If I am reflecting whatever I heard or read, that time also, I mean, if I'm sitting, I should not be sleeping, because नहीं तो क्या होता है कई बार लोग मनन करने बैठते हैं और समाधि ध्यान लगाने बैठते हैं तो नींद आ जाती है. So that means that sense control is not there, and the mind control, of course. I mean, because मन तो mind से होगा. Mind is sleeping. There is no. I can be still sitting. I can tie myself with a rope or something, but harness. But if mind is sleeping, the mananam doesn't make sense. And what to talk about Nididhyāsanam, which is meditation. Meditation is definitely, that is, even Ashtanga Yoga says this is the last stage, where you have yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, phir dhyan, phir samadhi. So you have to go through the entire. A lot of modern teachers, they teach meditation, which is fine. I mean, physically it is better than doing something else, but it doesn't fructify, because unless you have Indriya Nigraha and Mana Nigraha, it doesn't work. So that's what Bhagavan is saying. So Bhagavan, now we'll come to the shloka. So Ayuktasya. Ayukta means who is not engaged. Yukta means engaged. This is a Yoga Shabda. And Ayukta means you are not engaged. Or in the sense you are not integrated, that you are not focused. In simple terms, you can say, if I am not focused, so Bhagavan says, Ayuktasya na buddhi. Buddhi means, again, wisdom, when we call it in terms of wisdom. So if you're not integrated, if you're not assimilated the teaching or whatever, focus on that, then you don't have the buddhi. Buddhi in the sense, now we can say adhyatmic buddhi, or in any other sense. And nacha bhavna, and then you don't have bhavna. Bhavna, like typically Vedantic literature, bhavna ko, they call it meditation or contemplation. But for common men in non-Vedantic term, bhavna is our emotion, my personal feeling. So and the example is, there is a story about that. Yeah, Tolstoy, some story, right? Tolstoy. That there was a guy whose son was lost at young age, and then they were searching for him, and finally, when after 10-15 years, that boy must have been very young. So some clue he found that somebody has seen that young boy, and this is a rich man. His son was lost at the early. That town, your son, somebody has that seen, or maybe that's. So they gave advertisement in the newspaper that there's this person. If you are this personality, you're my son, and I am your dad, and I'm this big businessman. So please meet me. And he went to that town. But by the time search was going on, it was night time. He said, okay, we'll continue the search tomorrow, but can I get, there was a hotel, his own hotel. So I want a room. So they said, of course, I mean, there's a room for you. There's only one room available, but yeah. And then what happened, this guy, and so his son was there during the daytime, and he was staying in that hotel too, but there was no room. So they said, no, we have to throw this man who's looks like ordinary, and our owner should get the room. So they threw this young man out and gave the room to the owner. And it was a cold night, so this young man was standing on the street because there's no room in the hotel, and he was shivering, and it was so cold that he knocked a couple of times, can I come in? He said, no, you cannot come in because there is no room here. Or whatever room the owner was given. And then finally the story goes that this young man died, and some people saw in the body, and they found some paper in his pocket, and the paper says, the advertisement that his dad gave, that I'm looking for you. And they say, oh, this is the boy the dad was looking. And then the businessman came out and said, what happened? He said, this is your son. And he saw him. And nighttime when they asked, can we remove this young man? He said, yeah, I want a room, just remove him. Now he's crying. So that is emotion. When we have some attachment, our emotion changes. So Bhagwan is saying that this person's emotion don't change based on the relationship. हमारे सबके साथ होता है, like if this is my thing, then my emotions are different. It's not my emotions are different. So Yukta Purush की भावना जो है, this is a very established, like impartial, and that is called Yukta Purush. So both, it's contemplative in Vedantic term, but in simple term, bhavana means emotion or feeling. So this person doesn't do whatever we call it, partiality, right? And Bhagwan says, na buddhi hoti hai ayukt ki, na bhavana hoti hai. And then next line he says, next sentence, abhavyatah na shanti. When there is no balanced emotion, there is no meditative state of mind, because you're always disturbed. Because all our relationship, all our emotions are driven by the body-centric relationship of personal loss and gain. And this is very classic. This is a psychology. The shlok has a lot of psychology inside it, right? So Bhagavan says this person is always like wavering because of the body-centric things. So that is undisciplined, ayukta. So undisciplined person cannot have meditative, no peace. Abhavtah na shanti. Because you are always disturbed, right? Your emotions means disturbance. And he says, ashantasya kuta sukham. जो अशांत है इसका मन, उसको सुख कहाँ? क्योंकि सबसे बड़ा सुख तो शांति है. So this shlok is, again, Bhagavan is saying here that same, yukta means the buddhi yukt. Yukt means the buddhi is yukt. And when the buddhi is yukt, it is called pragya. And that was Arjun's question. Whose pragya is sthit? So Bhagavan is saying, this person who has contemplative mind is always balanced. It's not disturbing based on this. वो कहते हैं ना कि most of us, हमारी मनस्थिति is dependent on the parasthiti. Parasthiti means the situation, and manasthiti means the state of mind. Our state of mind, हमारी मनस्थिति parasthiti की गुलाम होती है, ऐसा हिंदी में बोलते हैं. Our state of mind is dependent on the situation, whereas your state of mind doesn't change based on the situation. Will keep changing. So parasthitiyan तो बदलेगी, लेकिन मनस्थिति नहीं बदलेगी, and that is sthit pragya. And that's what Arjun's question is. So how do we do that? Again, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyāsanam. These three things are happening, then only you become Yukta Purush. Yukta means you can say yogi also. Yukta means who has that in conjunction with the higher studies or higher knowledge, always available knowledge, sthit pragya. ऐसा कहते, और अशांतस्य कुतः सुखम, क्योंकि शांत ही सबसे बड़ा सुख है. और हमारे यहाँ एक कहावत भी है कि शांत मन में ही ईश्वर का दर्शन होता है. इट्स अ वेरी सिंपल स्टेटमेंट. कोई साधु सन्यासी लोग देते रहते हैं, वेरी प्रोफाउंड. कभी हम मंदिर जाके इसको टेस्ट करना चाहिए स्टेटमेंट को, कि शांत मन में ही ईश्वर का दर्शन होता है. वी गो टू मंदिर, वी ऑलवेज डू दर्शन, बट आर वी रियली डूइंग दर्शन? वी आर लुकिंग एट अ मूर्ति. ये कृष्ण है, ये पहने, हरा वस्त्र पहने, लाल पहने, कोई मुकुट है. We are all looking at just that outlook. We are not looking at the Krishna, क्योंकि हमारा मन शांत नहीं. मन उसी में जा रहा है कि इसने क्या पहना है, छोटी मूर्ति, बड़ी मूर्ति, मंदिर है, घंटा बज रहा है. So शांत मन में ही ईश दर्शन होता है. And that was when we started the shlok. Bhagwan says, राग द्वेष ध्यायतो विषयान पुरुषः. Miss Vishyanand se, this yatra which started from shlok number 59 and we ended in 65. So Vishya Vinivartanta means Chintan of Vishay and ending with Shanti. So Vishyanand से आत्मानंद की जर्नी है. विषयानंद अगर रहोगे तो आपको दुख रहेगा, क्योंकि विषयों में आनंद आ रहा है. लेकिन आत्मानंद जब बनोगे, आत्मा में जब आनंद लग जाएगा, जो इसलिए मैंने लास्ट में बताया था कि हमारे साधु सन्यासियों का नाम नंद रख देते हैं, राइट. आनंद रख देते हैं, विवेकानंद, परमहंसानंद और चिन्मयानंद. सो विषयानंद से विवेकानंद की यात्रा, विषय से शांति की यात्रा. दैट्स व्हाट दीस 6-7 श्लोक्स है. सो परमानेंट शांति, uninterrupted peace is the biggest sukh, सबसे बड़ा सुख. And we can look at the survey and have personal experience. शांति से बड़ा कोई सुख नहीं है. तो हम सब, and that's what Bhagwan is saying. So we'll continue next time. Bhagwan will tell little more the qualities of स्थित प्रज्ञ. यहाँ पर उन्होंने साधन बताया था, means how to become स्थित प्रज्ञ. So ये जो 3-4 श्लोक है, these are basically, if you read these श्लोक, we'll decipher, or if we write down some notes, like I think everybody does that. So these shloka are basically the steps for sadhana, or the tools are there, techniques are given in this, how to become a sthit prajna. And then we'll continue again. Bhagwan will talk to you more about sthit prajna kya karta hai. That will continue next time. So let's do Dhyān. Again, Dhyān that's the goal here. And again, Bhagwan says कि ध्यान तब तक नहीं हो सकता जब तक कि मन, इंद्रिय निग्रह और मनोनिग्रह नहीं हो. And that's the reason we have, हमारे योगा में भी एक्सरसाइज है, फिजिकल हेल्दी डाइट, हेल्दी लाइफस्टाइल. बिकॉज इफ योर बॉडी इज नॉट हेल्दी, और बेसिकली इंद्रिय निग्रह, सेंस कंट्रोल नहीं है, देन यू, मन एंड निग्रह मींस माइंड कंट्रोल एंड सेंस कंट्रोल गो टुगेदर. यू कैन नॉट जस्ट से वन और अदर. एंड उसके बिना भगवान कहते हैं न श्रवण हो सकता है, न मनन हो सकता है. और श्रवण मनन नहीं हो सकता तो निदिध्यासन तो हो ही नहीं सकता. बिकॉज निदिध्यासन इज बेस्ड ऑन व्हाट आई हैव हर्ड, what I have reflected, chintan kiya. Based on that, I can do the meditation. So anyway, so that's what we do every time when we do. Our journey starts from gross to subtle, because the gross is farther from. It's like that. If there is a lamp here, or street light, sometimes हमारे घर के पास भी ऐसे होती है. So I do walk in the night time, sometimes little early, like twilight time. So when I walk away from that street light, I'm in dark, and slowly I moving away. So here is Atma, and here are the senses. बीच में हमारा, इसलिए अंतःकरण बोला उसको. Senses, मन, बुद्धि, चित्त, अहंकार, and then Atma. So senses are farther from Atma. इसलिए उनका जो light reflection आत्मा का बहुत कम होता है. Senses, of course, they have light. Our journey, to keep shutting down these things and reach here, Shuddha Antakaran. And Shuddha Antakaran is nothing but reflection of Atma, which is, we call it consciousness or awareness. And once I realize that I'm Shuddha Antakaran, Aham Brahmasmi, that was Rishi said Tattvamasi. So let's do our Dhyān. Again, going back from gross to subtle. And Yatra from Vishay, Indriya Vishay to Satchidanand Atma. Sit straight and then slow and shallow breath, and we'll start from the grossest sense, right? Which is, so we'll say Om 6 times, which helps us bring down these senses, like quieten these senses. So now, last time I said, when we say Om, we can use that time also. So when you take a breath, so just observe the breath, it's going in. And then when I'm saying Om, we are exhaling. So follow the sound of Om till there is a gap there. Then before the next breath, right? Follow the gap also. Don't leave, because the mind has a tendency to run away. The moment mind gets even a fraction of a second, mind will run away. वो कोई sound सुनेगा, कुछ भी करेगा. Because ear are open, or eyes are open, or sometimes the skin is there. So again, like follow that breath, follow the sound, and then we'll continue our Tattva Dhyān, Pancha Tattva Dhyān. Observe the breath and observe the sound. Now shift focus the tip of the nostril and bring the image of Prithvi, which is Prithvi is Bhudevi, or Prithvi Tattva for us. So bring the image of Prithvi and keep the focus on tip of the nostril. Because Prithvi has a smell, and smell we feel through the sense which is our nose. Now shift focus to the tip of tongue and bring the image of Jal, which is water. So Jal is for us, it is Jal Devta or Varun Devta. So bring image of Jal, any fountain, spring, river, and keep the focus on the tip of the tongue. Now shift focus to the eyes and bring image of Agni. And Surya Bhagwan is the best form of Agni. Otherwise, we can bring any image, diya or candle. But bring the image of Surya Bhagwan and keep the focus on eyes. Because through Agni Tattva we feel through eyes. We perceive through eyes. Now shift focus to the skin and we can feel Vayu. Normally we don't feel, but when we keep the focus on the skin, we can feel Vayu, which is for us Pavan Devta around us. Now shift focus to ears and we can hear some sound, and that shows that we are in space because sound travels. Space we cannot see. Vayu we can feel, but space we cannot even feel. The only way to feel space is sound, because sound travels in space. So we can hear some sound, that means we are in space within us too. And by doing this, we're slowly shutting down all those five senses: nose, tongue, eyes, skin, and ear. And these senses, when they shut down, the world objects remain outside. And that was the whole shlok, Vishyani Indriyashchara. Otherwise, senses run around. So now the objects are outside. Now I am not the senses. I am not this body. When the senses shut down, mind slow, automatic shut down, because mind doesn't have opportunity to go out. So I'm not this mind, not the buddhi, I'm not chit, I'm not that ahankar, I am that chaitanya atma. And that's what Bhagavan says, prasanna chetah shuddha antahkaram. Now in Gita, Bhagavan says, once you are in this state, just do a Brahma Vichar. But that helps us get deeper into the Dhyān. And Brahma Vichar is best is Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. This mantra is all about buddhi. That's what the shlok also we read, that purpose is that buddhi should be established in the highest, which is here Paramatma, or ourselves, our Atma. And that is Sthit. And then Bhagavan says, Yukta Asit Matpara. Same Yukta word. Engaged in that higher state. Matpara, me as the highest goal. Me, it could be Bhagavan or our own Atma. Yukta Asit. And Asit means be seated. Engage in that higher goal, be seated. But if mind wanders, then go back to the same first stage. Keep the focus on nostril and come back. And we have to do this journey number of times, slowly, slowly by doing this. The abhyas, it happens that we reach to a state, then there is only one thought, which is either Antaratma or Paramatma. And Buddhist teachings say that you can observe the breath. Breath is also, prana is also Paramatma. Prana is also Atma. So they say just observe the breath. If you otherwise keep that thought that I am this Atma, that's it. Or I am Paramatma. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Yes, Holy Krishna Kanhaiya Lal